Today on GoPro Tips and Tricks, we're going to be building a DIY dolly which you can use to get amazing panning shots like the ones that I have been featured heavily in my videos of late. First, I need to apologize for this video not being up to the same quality and production standards as most of my videos. When I built my DIY dolly, I was not planning to make it into a DIY how-to video. So I did not film the production process and simply took some photos of each step. However, since I started using this dolly in my videos, I've had a huge number of requests from people to show how I made it. So I'm going to show you guys the photos I took of the build process and then talk about how I did it. The frame of the dolly is built completely out of 1x2 wood. It's cut into 3 pieces, so there's 2 support arms for the wheels and then a center support arm which the camera will be mounted on. They're cut to 12 inches and 16 inches respectively. So there's 2 pieces that are 12 inches long and then there's 1 piece which is 16 inches long. For wheels, I used rubber coated casters. I picked these up at the hardware store. They were about $3 each, and I picked the rubber ones so that they'd have a little bit more impact resistance and a little bit more smooth rolling than the hard plastic ones. In terms of hardware, I was using 1/4-inch bolts to bolt the wheel axle boards onto the main axle board. So I have bolts and wing nuts to tighten those down, and then I'm using 10 by 5/8 screws to mount the casters on to the wooden supports. For my camera mount, I'm using a RAM mounting system, so I've got a flat base plate from RAM, as well as a tripod adapter and a single extension arm. Now, since I've finished the construction of this, I've started using 2 extension arms and a double ball adapter to make that extension arm work. That gives me a little bit more flexibility, and I've also started to mount the camera upside down for most of my shots, which allows me to get the camera very close to the ground, which is great for shooting these panning shots of very small objects. I mounted the RAM flat base mount onto the long piece of wood and then the casters onto the 2 shorter ones. I drilled holes in the center of the 2 shorter ones and on the end of the longer ones. I then threaded through all my bolting hardware. I put a washer between the 2 plates so that there was a nice pivot friction point and bolted it all together. You can see the finished dolly and then with the camera mounted on it. As you can see, it shows the 2 extension arms I've started using most of the time. This was a really fun project to build, and the results and the video footage I can shoot with it are amazing. Hardware-wise, it cost me about $15 worth, including the wood and casters and screws I bought from the hardware store, and I already had the RAM mount, so I did not have to pay for that. If you had to buy the RAM mounting arms as well as all the hardware, this DIY setup would run you somewhere close to just buying an off-the-shelf product. Now, it might not be able to support the same weight of camera as this one can, but that's up to you whether or not you go the DIY route or purchase a professional option. There's a very steep learning curve in using a dolly like this, and even looking at the shots that I was getting after I finished building this and comparing them to what I'm able to do with it now, there's a huge improvement. Just pushing the cart does not always result in that great of shots. If there's any bumps in the floor on which you're rolling it, or if you move your arm a little bit too fast, there's a lot of different elements that can go wrong and disturb the shot. I've been using this for a long time now, and I'm finally starting to get the hang of being able to take amazing looking B-roll with this dolly setup. Thank you guys for watching. This was another GoPro tips and tricks video. Again, I apologize for the very different production style of this video compared to all the other videos I've done. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope this gave you a little bit of an idea of how I shoot all of that B-roll footage and answers all of those questions you guys have had, because I have received a huge amount of questions from people asking me how I shoot those panning B-roll shots. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, check out my channel for lots more videos, and like the video.